Don't ask me why. Possibly losing my mind. I don't know. But I'm going to prep some dough for Hawaiian style hamburger buns for tomorrow. We're gonna put it in the fridge overnight. Tomorrow's Sunday. It's supposed to be an absolutely gorgeous day. Finally, after a super long winter, it's gonna be about 74 degrees, sunny. So my kids and I are going to grill some burgers because I've been craving a big, fat, juicy burger on a homemade bun. So that's what I'm gonna do. So let's get started. I need a dough hook. Luckily I have a mixer, so I don't have to do this by hand. So really it's just throwing some ingredients into a bowl and mixing it up. And then putting it in the fridge. Shoot, I need my yeast. Goodness gracious me. Okay. So we need to start with a half a cup of milk, and we're gonna warm it up. Don't even ask what that noise my microwave is making. Brand new microwave. And the turntable is in there properly on the little wheel thing properly. So throw a tablespoon of sugar in there. Stir that up. It's pretty hot. You don't want it too hot or it'll kill your yeast, so. Yeah, that's okay. Tablespoon of yeast. Almost a tablespoon. I kind of do a little bit less. Basically a packet of active dry yeast. And we'll stir that up as well. And then we're going to let that sit until it foams. So it's 3 cups of flour. And the recipe calls for a 1/4 cup of sugar. Now a 1/4 cup is 4 tablespoons. And since I already put a tablespoon in here, now I'm going to put 3 tablespoons in here to equal the 1/4 cup. And we need some salt. Some might call me crazy. That's okay. They're probably right. Alright, so we're gonna do a teaspoon of salt. Heaping teaspoon. And we're gonna whisk this together. I think this is all the dry ingredients. Oh. Flour, salt, sugar. Yep. Okay. Whisk that all together. We need about a 1/4 cup of honey. We need to make the cup. Get every last bit of that ooey goodness out of there. This is local honey. I actually know the people who make this, which is nice. I love supporting my local peeps. And we need 4 tablespoons of butter, softened butter. It's been sitting out quite a while. I'm just gonna cut it so that it can soften even more. It's pretty soft, but I just want to make sure it's incorporated well. Our yeast mixture. All that goodness. And we need a half a cup of pineapple juice. Hopefully this doesn't make a big mess. Beautiful. There we go. And I'm just going to give this a gentle stir just to kind of help it out with the incorporation process. And then we'll let the dough hook do the rest of the work. Gonna let it knead for probably 8 to 10 minutes. If we need to add a little more flour, we'll add it a tablespoon at a time. All right. Start it off on 1. Two eggs. I 100% forgot those. And I knew I was forgetting something too. I could just feel it. That's what happens when you try to bake when you're tired. When you're too tired. I am too tired, but I want to get this done. So that means tomorrow I can relax. Just assemble them and grill some burgers and enjoy. All right. Try that again. I'm going to start it off on 1 to let everything incorporate, especially the eggs that I forgot to put in. And then I'm going to turn it up to 2 and let it knead for about 8 minutes. That's pretty decent, I guess. Just gonna make sure it's all incorporated real well. Oh, it smells so good. All right, and then we're gonna cover this with saran wrap and pop it in the fridge. And I'll see you guys tomorrow morning. Morning. Technically, it's still morning. Close enough. Just took the dough out of the fridge from last night for the hamburger buns. There we go. My kids and I are planning to go to a nice park area. Looking forward to that. So I'm just gonna get the buns done. Buns done. And then off we go. So here, look at this dough. It's so beautiful right now. Oh my goodness. It smells so good. And I'm not really going to do much to it other than flatten it out a bit like this so that I can cut it into sections. We're going to make 8 hamburger buns. So we want them to be fairly substantial in size. So we'll do a cut it in half. Cut it in half again. And then we'll cut these in half, and that'll be 8. Just like to pull the ends in on itself, I guess. Once again, words are eluding me today. Something like that. I'm trying to be back here enough that you can see what I'm doing. Trying to just form them into a ball. It is already absolutely beautiful outside. I'm very excited to finally get outside and enjoy some fresh air and sunshine after a very long winter. A very long, very cold winter this year. I mean, it gets cold where that one will be mine. It's starting already. Oh boy, oh boy. As I was saying, wow, it gets cold where I live, like every winter, but this last winter was exceptionally cold. You know, I've had my coffee too. You would think that I hadn't. Poor road little roll. I need to go save this roll. I mean, my floors aren't exceptionally dirty. Nobody needs to know. Lord have mercy. Well, that one's a fairly small one too, so I'll just try to remember that the small one should be mine. That's the one that fell on the floor. Speaking of things falling and me ending up being the one to eat them because it was my fault, my kids and I, on yet another of our little adventures we went camping last fall, and my son-in-law went and bought amazing steaks. He wanted me to help him cook them because, you know, he's good on the grill, but this was on a campfire, so this was different. And obviously I said, of course, you know. So we were, we got the fire just right, you know, got the coals just right, all that good stuff. And we were cooking the steaks. And little pro tip, when you're cooking steaks over a campfire, you should use tongs, or, you know, I guess that's what most people know them as, tongs. I was using a spatula, and that turned out to be a very bad idea, because as I was going to turn the steaks over, the flame came up and licked my hand, and I jumped, and the steak went flying and landed in the dirt. So I told my son-in-law, took it and rinsed it off, and we put it back on, and I just said that one will be mine. And while I was eating it, I couldn't really tell if I was chewing on steak seasoning or sand. Okay, managed to not drop any more. That's good. I shouldn't speak too soon because Lord knows I might drop this whole thing on the floor. I'm just gonna kind of flatten these a little bit because these are gonna be burger buns, and I don't want them to be too high. They're gonna rise again anyway. Okay, and then I'm just gonna cover them with this towel, and then we're gonna preheat the oven to 350, and while it's preheating, we'll let these rise. And I'll be back. Good. Just try to remember this one's. Well, I ran this through the dishwasher. That's good to know. Why do I do these things to myself?